So my name is Donna, and I have been with Expedia Cruises Sudbury office for, I believe it's 18 years, 18, 19 years. It's just getting up there. It all blends. So I've been lucky enough to be part of this team for a very long time. Very excited to be part of this team. And as you can kind of see right there, we're actually have 18. I'm just throwing without Sean knowing, 18 franchises. And really quickly, I'll just give you a quick name in case everybody's all over the place in Ontario, I'm sure. So our very first one was Thunder Bay, and then we have Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, North Bay, Woodstock, Windsor, Burlington North, Hamilton, Ancaster, Dundas, Sarnia, Chatham, Barrie, Aurelia, and in May last year, the three stores in London joined us. And St. Thomas, which it says opening soon. I'm lying. It's actually open, just recently opened. So, Susan, I'm going to get you to flip to the next screen for me. That's one thing. She's my Vanna. See, she blonde, beautiful like Vanna. Just love it. So, who is the Friesen Travel Group? We basically are almost our own consortium at this point with 18 stores, almost 600. Oh, I didn't update these slides. I apologize, everybody. We have over 600 consultants, again, throughout Ontario, many of them even in areas where we don't personally have a store. And I really sent you the wrong deck. 16 soon to be 18. They're all open now, guys, including our brand new store in Sudbury, which just moved right next door. So same address, just a different door to walk in now. So basically, we are a host agency. And people always say to me, like, why do I care? You know why? Because with 600 agents, I can honestly tell you, we have actually been everywhere between us. So if you're working with someone in Burlington and maybe the person you're working is a couple of years in the business and they say, well, you know what, I haven't actually been to Antarctica, but I work with 5 other people who have. So let me talk to them and let me give you their personal experiences and why they like the way they did it. So that is something working with any of our Expedia cruises, part of our Friesen Travel Group. That is the extra that we bring to you. And we're going to do the last slide before I introduce Susan. And this is most of our managers. Every single store that we own does have a manager. One or two of the bigger ones does include sometimes an assistant, just a person to help out. And you can see there, these are the managers. We have a great big gala to just really, you know what, celebrate our team because our consultants are amazing. And they work so hard to bring you fabulous vacations and great deals. So we like to really celebrate them in January every year. And this is the picture from last year. You kind of see it says hashtag team, and you don't see the bottom, but that's supposed to be Friesen. But we're all blocking it. So I'm going to pass this over to Susan. Susan is our Vanna. Also, she works for Princess. She is our representative today who's going to walk you through the 3-day sale for this year. As always, this is the best time to work Princess. So definitely pay attention. Susan will go over everything. If you have questions, you feel free to use the chat and we will go over them at the end of the presentation. So chat is on, and I believe if you don't have chat, if there is, I think there's notes or some questions and answers. Either one, whichever one works for you, I will keep an eye. Okay. So Susan, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're busy on the road doing all kinds of Expedia cruises. So thank you for taking time in your afternoon as well. And I'm going to pass it off to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. What a great introduction. I remember many, many years ago when I was with Air Canada Vacations, a tour operator, and I called on Sean and Tammy's first office in Thunder Bay. At the time, they only had Thunder Bay. And now look at all these years later with so many centers, 600 consultants. It's just amazing. So we're celebrating so many milestones right now. The 3-day sale is the biggest sale in the industry. This is the Super Bowl of cruise sales. This is when Princess and Expedia Cruises comes together. This will be our 22nd year having this sale. And we have probably, I believe, the strongest offers this year for the sale. We're also celebrating our 60th anniversary. Princess was put on the map with the Love Boat back in the 80s on TV. I remember growing up and watching it. But wow, we are still, it's still a love fest. We love what we do. We love what we deliver. And we never stop. We're constantly trying to improve. We're constantly trying to bring new technology on board. And I'm going to talk about that with the introduction of the medallion class. So we're forever trying to keep going in that direction of success. And so today we're going to talk about a number of things, but I want to start with what I call it Little Princess Sizzle. And I hope the audio works. If it doesn't, the visual is still good. To the wild, to the wild, to the wild I go. Oh, oh, oh. To the wild I go. So let's do a little review. I'm sure many of you that are logging in today have actually sailed on Princess before, and you've been here. You've done this 3 day sail before, and you know that this is the time. If you book over the 3 days, June 11th, 12th, 13th, you're going to get the best offers, and you come back to Princess over and over again. We have one of the highest guest repeat ratios in the industry. You come back predominantly, number one reason, destination, destination, destination. We are a global cruise line. This year alone, we're visiting over 345 destinations. We're visiting all continents. So today, I'm going to cover as much as I can. I could go on and on and on for hours when we start talking about the world cruise and all the destinations we go to, but we're going to cover where are the new hot spots, what's new, what's exciting for 2027, 2028, because all of the voyages for 27 and 28 are also included in the 3 day sail. We're also going to talk a little bit about the service that Princess delivers. We are known for the personalized service. I hear over and over again, especially over the recent days of weeks of doing these events in person from guests saying the service is, you can't compare it to anything else. The crew, our onboard family, they really do their best to get to know you, to get to know what you like, and always ahead of you by the next step. And we use technology to help us in that realm. We've introduced medallion class where when you want something, you can just enter it into the app with your medallion that you're wearing either on your wrist or on the clothing. The closest waiter is going to all of a sudden magically appear and bring you exactly what you've asked for. So it's that attention to detail and delivering exceptional service that Princess is known for. I hear every single day from not just guests, but also my travel partners that the value that Princess delivers is incredible. I mean, we are able to offer packages now. We're going to talk a little later in much more detail about Princess Plus and Princess Premier and how you can take a standard cruise fare right from the get-go when you're getting your quote with your vacation consultant at your Expedia office. They can add the Princess Plus or the Princess Premier to that standard fare so that right up front, no surprises. You know exactly what you're getting. You have all the inclusions that are important to you, if that's Wi Fi, beverages, dining. We can bundle that and you're locking in that rate today even if you're not sailing till 2028. So we're going to talk about the value. We have 17 ships in our fleet. They are all beautiful. They have all recently been refurbished, renovated. So even the oldest ship in the fleet, and I just got off the Grand Princess, I just sailed her last month, is absolutely stunning. We're taking all of the bells and whistles, the features, the shine from the new ships, our Sphere class, and we're reintroducing them on some of the older ships so that all of our guests get to experience the beauty of a Princess cruise ship. But we sell cruises. We are a traditional cruise ship experience. We're not a city at sea. We're not an amusement park on the water. We are true cruise experience. And our guests really, really enjoy that. We're lively, we're energetic, we have social time. You know, I was amazed at how engaged our guests were when I was on the Grand a few weeks ago. How whether I walked by a Zumba class or trivia or a game or an ABBA night with live music, the place was bouncing. It was busy. Everybody is enjoying the different options of entertainment and getting involved. And it's a really fun atmosphere. And then let's talk a little bit about the dining experience. Princess is known for dining. We just picked up an amazing award, Best Pizzeria at Sea with Alfredo's Pizza. On our new Sphere class ships, we've introduced over 30 dining and bar options on these new vessels. So there's so much to choose from the beautiful main dining rooms that offer a very traditional experience to some of our more specialized restaurants like Catch by Rudy or Sabatini's. There's so many choices. And even if you want a casual pub dinner at O'Malley's, that's available too. So the elevation of the dining experience on Princess definitely delivers. So I want to look a little bit at the map of North America. And, you know, we're in Canada. Would love to point out some key ports that I think you'll really appreciate. So if you're thinking of Alaska, Princess offers round trip inside passage cruises from Vancouver, British Columbia. So you don't even have to leave Canada to get on board your ship. We also offer some voyage of the glacier itineraries, northbound and southbound, leaving from British Columbia, Vancouver, or returning to Vancouver. So that's a great option. And if you're considering something closer to home, Quebec City, what a great port to embark on a cruise or disembark. And when we do Canada, New England, there are several options where you can sail from Quebec City all the way down to Boston, or you can get on in Boston and finish in Quebec City. And we use that city as an overnight hotel. So you get to experience the nightlife and the evening in beautiful Quebec City. I'm also going to touch on a little later something new and exciting. You know, Princess has always had great offerings in the Caribbean. This year, we're sailing out of Port Canaveral. We have cruises always out of Fort Lauderdale, and Miami is being introduced as well. San Juan, if you want a Southern Caribbean cruise, has always been the spot where you have to fly to San Juan to get on and off your ship and do those Southern Caribbean islands. But new for 2027, starting in early January, we are going to be offering 7-day round trip itineraries from Barbados. So Barbados has daily flights out of Toronto on Air Canada, and many other carriers are going to Barbados from Canadian cities. And I know if you love the islands, if you love those beautiful islands, you're going to love what I introduce you to, the itineraries that are being offered out of Barbados. So when we look at the fleet, I mentioned we have 17 ships in our fleet. The Coral class, these two ships are our baby boutique ships, I like to call them. They only carry 2,000 guests. They are gorgeous. They have everything you need, but they're perfect for getting into those ports of call that are a little bit more intimate, where maybe the big ships just can't get in close. So we use the Coral class for itineraries like that. I mentioned that I just got off the Grand Princess. She was built in 1998. I was actually working at a tour operator at the time that represented 15 cruise lines. And the Grand Princess was coming. It was going to be the biggest cruise ship in the world. There was such a buzz about the Grand. And now when you look at how far the cruise industry has evolved, and how many ships have been introduced since the Grand Princess, it's pretty remarkable. But I want to tell you a little story. So when you take a Princess cruise, at the end of the cruise, we ask our guests to complete our guest satisfaction survey. And the data that we pull from those surveys that are returned are entered into a system. And that basically applies a grade, a score, a numerical value to that ship, that sailing, and gives it a score. Now, always those new ships, the brand new ships usually score the highest, right? So we've got the Star Princess right now. She is doing exceptionally well. People are loving her. She's scoring very, very high. But when I was on the Grand, remember, built in 1998, I was on the Grand just at the beginning of May. And we were told, our national sales team was on, we were told that the scores that the Grand Princess is receiving after her voyages are coming in just as high as the Star Princess. So that just gives you an idea of its consistency. When you sail with Princess, whether it's a brand new ship or one of the ships that have been around for a number of years, it doesn't matter because the experience is consistent. The experience is true to Princess. And you can see from this slide, without me going through every single ship in our fleet, that all of the ships have been recently renovated and refurbished. So there's so many beauties to choose from. But talking about our new Sphere class stunners, we've got the Sun Princess, which we introduced in the fall of 2024. And she was just recently joined by the Star Princess, which had her inaugural in the fall of 2025. So these are our new ships. They're absolutely beautiful. They have some new features that our other ships don't have. And I want to take you inside and take a closer look. So first of all, they're the largest ships in our fleet, offering 21 decks, 2,157 staterooms, 4,300 guests at full occupancy. But they're very spacious. There's so many little intimate spots. I was at an event last night where one of the guests came up to me who sailed numerous Princess cruises, and they said just how much they loved the Star. They just got off the Star, and their favorite spot was in the buffet restaurant had an outdoor seating area. And they said they would always be able to find a shaded spot out there to sit and enjoy like leisurely dinners where they could go up and try something new, take their time, eating al fresco outside. And it was really great that they shared that with me because no matter where you are on the ship, there's so many different spots that are new, and you'll definitely be sure to find somewhere that you love. This is a look at the dome. So picture this. You are in the Mediterranean. You've got this absolutely stunner view, and you're sitting in the dome, taking it all in. You'll see there's a swimming pool there where you can venture outside or stay underneath the glass dome. Very comfortable furniture in here. It's a great spot. If you're in Alaska and it's a little chillier out, this is also a great spot for viewing. But at night, she changes. So at night, you've got the stars overhead. We put on shows, we put on concerts. You can come here for a cocktail and enjoy the entertainment. And it's an absolute beautiful venue. Our piazza on the Sphere class is just as awesome as the other piazzas, just a little bit bigger, but still really lively, a lot of fun. It's really the heartbeat of the ship on a Princess cruise is the piazza. Whether you're going down to get a coffee, maybe a specialty coffee in the morning, or you're sitting in one of the adjacent bars or lounges, it's a really great spot. We often do entertainment from here, whether it's a party or some live music. I've even seen them game shows. So it is definitely a spot. And here is just an image of, a full-on pop-up show happening right in the middle of the piazza and there for everyone to enjoy. I hope you can hear this, but if you can't hear it, it's okay. It's got some great visual of our new Star Princess as she debuts in Alaska. Like picturing the northern lights of Alaska and sitting in that dome, just taking it all in is such a great, exciting story that we are moving our brand new ship, Star Princess to Alaska. She's there already. In fact, Donna can maybe chat about it a little later, how she just got off Star Princess in Alaska for the first sailing. So I'm sure she can share with us at the end her experience. But we're going to look at our destinations. I mentioned at the very beginning 345 ports of call, 345 destinations we're visiting, 7 continents. So we absolutely do Alaska. We do it best. We have 8 ships in Alaska this year. The Caribbean, we've got some new and exciting options for Caribbean. Asia, Japan, 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 such a hot destination. Australia, New Zealand, so much to offer in Europe. Tahiti in the South Pacific. And let's not forget about the World Cruise. So we have a World Cruise sailing 2027. And we just opened for sale not too long ago the 2028 World Cruise. This is 115 days. You can do it from either round trip Fort Lauderdale or round trip Los Angeles. She's going to start from Fort Lauderdale on January 3rd. She's going to make her way down through the beautiful Caribbean with some amazing ports of call. She'll do a full transit of the Panama Canal. She'll make her way up the West Coast towards LA and then over to Hawaii, where you'll get to spend an amazing time visiting those Hawaiian islands. She'll then make her way over to the South Pacific and over to New Zealand, where you can then venture over to Australia. She'll eventually make her way to South Africa with some beautiful itineraries, and then upwards over to Europe. Some great, beautiful ports of call in Europe before she heads back to Fort Lauderdale. So this is 115 days. However, it can be booked in 5 voyages. So if you're sitting down with your vacation consultant, you can really look at a 5-year plan. Like, let's tackle the World Cruise. It's on your bucket list. You want to complete it, but you could do it in segments so that between now and 2031, 2032, you have completed the World Cruise. We've got amazing early booking bonus right now where we're offering pricing with Princess Premier, which means your unlimited drinks, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, with, in addition, up to $3,000 in onboard credits. And we're combining this offer with the 3-day sale, which is even richer of a promotion. So if it's something that's on your bucket list, whether it be the full cruise or of a voyage, I definitely encourage you to take a look at the itinerary. It's beautiful. So, Donna, did you hear the audio or not?
I did not, but the
I'm
first
going
one
to
I
try
did.
it.
So there's no
Okay.
rhyme or reason.
So
I'm
I'm
looking
going to
at
try
somebody
this.
else, but
Thank you. I'm going to try this next video and hopefully you'll hear it, but it is really just music is the audio. It's all about the visual. So take a peek at how Princess is a world destination cruise line.
There's so much to love about this world. That's why we sail to every corner of it. It all began with the Mexican Riviera. And now we go just about everywhere, as in more than 335 destinations, 89 countries, and all 7 continents. For those who want to see it all, we offer our World Cruise, 100 plus days of sailing to the best places around the globe. We love taking guests to their dream destinations, whether they're beach lovers, adventure seekers, or history buffs, letting them experience the world anew, from natural wonders to unique cultures, while making friends along the way. We're also known for our well-curated itineraries that carry guests to both iconic ports and hidden gems. And we lead with our cruises and cruise tours to Alaska. More guests choose Princess and the Great Land than any other cruise line, and we love that. Here's why. Our wilderness lodges, located near Denali National Park, as well as other top spots. Our exclusive direct-to-the-wilderness rail service, and our award-winning North to Alaska program that connects guests with lumberjacks, wildlife, the northern lights, and fresh regional seafood. The best way for guests to have the best time in port is on a Princess Shore excursion. Our tours have consistently won prestigious awards. They boast authentic experiences from local experts and guaranteed return to ship. They're an exceptional value, and there's something for every interest. With Princess, guests can follow their hearts anywhere and enjoy every moment of the journey.
Okay. Let's see here. So let's talk about Alaska. 8 ships in Alaska. This is the most beautiful landscape. It definitely a destination that I think every single person should get to experience at least once. So many of our guests go there. They do, an inside passage 7-day cruise, and then they decide, oh, we're definitely going back. We want to go longer. We want more glacier days. We want to go inland and do a cruise tour. We have been going to Alaska for 55 years. So we have really helped create what Alaska is with regards to how the cruise industry has really put it on the map for so many travelers. 22 years in a row, we have picked up an award from Travel Weekly Readers' Choice Award. This is an award that the travel industry votes on. The travel partners, our travel agents vote. And what they have told us for 22 years in a row is that Princess is the best cruise line in Alaska. So we are very proud of what we deliver in Alaska. There's multiple ways to experience an Alaska vacation. First of all, that round trip cruise. So, for example, you could take the brand new Star Princess out of Seattle, or you can do round trip on Emerald Princess from Vancouver. So, typically a 7-day cruise, or could be a little longer. It sails from the port that it returns. It's a round trip from that same port, and you're going to get several really popular ports of call in Alaska, but you're also going to get 1 glacier day, possibly 2, but it's really more port intensive. That is an option. Then we have Voyage of the Glaciers. So these itineraries tend to be a little bit longer, and they offer more glacier viewing days, which is really where the magic happens. That's the beauty of the sound of silence, when you're sitting there and you're taking it all in, and it's perfectly still and silent, and then you hear a crash, right? And so those glacier days, those are the moments. We bring on naturalists, we bring on rangers who narrate what you're looking at. That moment where there's something happening over there, and then the captain will just turn the vessel around ever so slowly so that every guest sitting on their balcony or looking out their window or at whatever part of the ship that they're at can get a glimpse, can get a view of whatever it is that's so special at that moment. So that's where the magic happens. And then of course there's the cruise tours. So the cruise tours, we take either a Voyage of the Glaciers, perhaps it's a ship sailing from Vancouver, finishing in Anchorage, and then we're going to add multiple days inland. We have 5 wilderness lodges. We own those lodges. The staff working at those lodges are employed by Princess Cruises. And what we're able to deliver is a seamless experience. So the amazing attention to detail, the service, the food, that doesn't all end when the cruise is over, because we pick you up in our motor coaches. We take you to our wilderness lodges, and we have 5 of them. They're all within really close proximity of the national parks. We have our dedicated rail, which you saw in the video with the beautiful glass domes. You get such great views and visuals when you're on the rail cars. So it really is a consistent Princess experience from beginning to end. What's new for 2026 and into 2027 and beyond, we're taking that Glacier Day and we're making it even more special. So, more professionals, more lectures, more talks, more up close and personal experiences when you're on those Glacier Days with people who really know. The history and the science behind these glacier parks that you're visiting. Also, we've introduced something called Welcome to Alaska. So, this is usually going to take place on the first day. It's hosted by our cruise director, and we bring all those guests that we're going to have on board throughout the cruise into the theater and invite our guests to come and talk about the cruise. We talk about what you're going to see, we talk about the experts that are on board and how they can impact this vacation and really help you get yourself super immersed in Alaska. So that's happening usually on day one or day two. And it helps, sort everybody out for what's to come. We've also introduced Après Ski. This is like a after you've had a great excursion, you head back on board, and before you go get ready for dinner, cozy blankets, a cocktail, maybe it's a warm cocktail or a cool cocktail, and you're taking in the view. And then the candlelight concert series, brand new, and we're introducing such an experience. I think I have a photo. Here you go. So here you've had a great dinner, you come up to the dome, and it's covered in candles that are reflecting on the roof, the glass. You've got the stars up above and live music, and you can just, soak it all in and have a really relaxing and enjoyable evening. So, some sample itineraries to take a look at. A very popular Voyage of the Glaciers with Glacier Bay. This is Anchorage to Vancouver. So, you're starting in Anchorage and you're making your way to Vancouver. Very popular and with some great sightseeing and glacier time. Here you've got our brand new Star Princess sailing round trip from Seattle. And this you're getting to experience on this gorgeous brand new ship. And then taking a very popular cruise tour. So, a 12-day Denali Explorer. You cruise first for 7 days, and then you're followed by several days doing more of an interior Alaska. You're visiting 2 wilderness lodges. You're getting to experience the rail, and there's lots of different things to do when you get to these national parks. So, what's new in the Caribbean? Princess Keys has always been a favorite destination. This is our private island. It's like a resort day for our guests. Beautiful half-mile white sand shoreline. And this is a day where everyone gets to just really enjoy themselves, stay casual, and have that fun-filled time at the beach. But recently, Carnival Corporation has opened up Celebration Key in Grand Bahama. So, this is an amazing private island day. Here's a look at all that's being offered. We've got different zones. So, depending on who's traveling in your party, if you're traveling as a family with young children, Starfish Beach and Starfish Lagoon caters to activities that will keep those little ones busy. Maybe you've got some teenagers. Calypso Lagoon is for 13 years and older. You've got DJs, lots of beach area as well to enjoy. And then we've got the Pearl Cove Beach, which is an adults only elevated experience with some finer dining options as well. So much to do on this amazing day. Let's take a look. I'm ready to go tomorrow. So very popular. If you're interested in checking out Celebration Key, make sure you find an itinerary that's visiting. But I mentioned earlier in the presentation about this new option that we're offering from Barbados. So you've got there in the Southern Caribbean so many great islands to explore and discover. And so many of those islands are my favorites. So starting in early 2027, we've got the Crown Princess, and she's going to be offering itineraries that are either round trip San Juan, or you can do round trip Barbados. It's the same itinerary. We are just allowing you to either start and end in San Juan or start and end in Barbados. What's really nice about these itineraries is that both San Juan and Barbados offer a late night. So more assured. That's a program that we offer at Princess. So late embarkation, more time in these destinations that you're visiting. So I've just pulled a sample itinerary. This is Southern Caribbean with St. Lucia. So you leave Canada, you fly to Barbados. Perhaps you want to do a couple days in a hotel, a villa, a resort. Our team at Expedia has access to all of the best properties and private villas and resorts in Barbados. So they can make this a much longer stay if that's what you are interested in doing this winter. You'll sail from Barbados, you'll have a sea day, San Juan with a nice late night in San Juan. And then you've got St. Thomas, St. Martin, Antigua, St. Lucia, back to Barbados. It's like the Kokomo song. It's awesome. So many great islands. And there's other itineraries where we swap out one of the islands and replace it with maybe Tortola or St. Kitts. So definitely look at our brand new destination guide, our brand new brochure, which is hitting all the Expedia offices this week. Pick one up and have a closer look at Southern Caribbean. Now, so many people still want to do more of a Western Caribbean or an Eastern Caribbean. There's lots of adventure seekers that love those destinations. And the Sun Princess has so many options. Here's a 7-day Eastern Caribbean with Puerto Rico. And it's also visiting Grand Turk and Turks and Caicos, which is a big favorite amongst Canadians. And of course, Panama Canal. Princess has legendary at offering Panama Canal because our ships actually fit through the Panama Canal and we reposition them constantly because of our global destinations. So here's an example where you can take more of a Caribbean Panama Canal experience. So this is a 12-day round trip Fort Lauderdale on the Caribbean Princess, and you're visiting Aruba, Cartagena. Then you do the Panama Canal a little bit. You go in, you get to experience the water levels changing. You get to see the landscape of Panama Canal, but you will turn around in one of the lakes and head back out. You'll visit Costa Rica, Grand Cayman, Cozumel before you go back to Fort Lauderdale. So it gives you a great taste of the Panama without doing the full transit. Excuse me, I have to clear my throat because what I'm about to share with you next is amazing. So this is just released. The Team Friesen group of Expedia offices have an exclusive group on the Star Princess sailing next December. And we are partnering with the Hockey Hall of Fame, bringing on legends, hockey legends, and a lot of different artifacts on board the cruise. So if you're a hockey fan, this is definitely something to consider. Excuse me. So what is going to be going on here? We've got amazing legends like Grant Fuhr and Brian Trottier, many other favorites. There's a whole website that has been designed, legendsofhockeycruise.ca. Sorry. You can go to that and you can get the who's who of who's going to be on board. So a beautiful itinerary. This is a 7-day Eastern Caribbean sailing from Port Canaveral. So that you'd be flying into the closest airport would be Orlando, and you're going to visit that new private island, Celebration Key. You're going to go Amber Cove in the Dominican Republic, San Juan, Turks and Caicos before you head back to Port Canaveral. What's going to be included? So much. So we're really making this special. First of all, with your stateroom, your accommodation, we're adding the Princess Plus package. So all of your gratuities, Wi-Fi, beverages, some casual dining, all of that has been bundled into the price. In addition, you're going to get to experience and be invited to a VIP cocktail reception with all of these amazing hockey legends. There'll be a private beach reception, so many different activities. We're going to be doing a special Hockey Hall of Fame Legends dinner, and we'll be doing a draw for who gets to come and who gets invited to that. There'll be lots of gift bags and swag. We're bringing some of the amazing pieces from the Hockey Hall of Fame onto the ship. So when you're used to seeing our art galleries, now on this particular sailing, there is going to be opportunity to see some of this amazing history. And so there'll be photo ops, and you can do your social media posts with some of these artifacts. So it's a really exciting cruise, and it's exclusive to the Friesen group of offices and the 600 consultants, and space is limited. So don't forget, we're going to have the curator from Hockey Hall of Fame. There's going to be question and answer. You're going to get to mingle and talk to these legends and these amazing people. It'll be a really fun time. So if this is something that interests you, that is early December 2027. So let's move along. We've got from the West Coast, Mexican Riviera, California wine cruises, and of course, Hawaii. So you've got the option to sail from Los Angeles or San Francisco, have a few sea days, go to Hawaii, explore those gorgeous islands, and then make your way back to the West Coast. So those are equally popular, especially in our winter. That's quite cold. But I know a lot of you are interested in Europe. So let's have a closer look at Europe. So I hope you enjoyed that video. A lot to uncover in Europe. So we've got the Mediterranean, if you're interested in the ruins, the Renaissance, beautiful beaches, amazing food. We also offer British Isles. We've got round trip British Isle cruises from Southampton. We even have some that include Iceland. And then we've got, of course, Northern Europe. We've got these gorgeous solstice cruises in August taking place where there's still a little bit of availability. So if you'd like to get away this year and hop on one of those, there is still a tiny bit of space. So check that out. But yes, genuinely, you're going to book Europe a little further out and plan accordingly. However, 2027 is available. And yesterday we just launched 2028. So many choices to choose from. Now, when you look at where is Princess in Europe, these are what we consider to be our home ports in Europe. These are our departure ports. So you can easily fly from Canada to London round trip very easily. We've got British Isles sailing out of London. We do some Northern Europe sailing out of London and Copenhagen as well. And then for the Mediterranean, you can sail from Istanbul, Athens, Rome, and or Barcelona. So the beauty of Princess and the offerings that we have in Europe is that our itineraries are not the same on repeat, like every week, same itinerary back and forth doing the same thing. Our itineraries are always like evolving. So you really have to look at the destination guide and you really want to map out specifically what it is you want to uncover in Europe. So, for example, you can take a 7-day cruise and basically do back to back to back 3 7-day in a row, creating a 21-day voyage where you're not going to repeat any of the same ports of call. So you can do Istanbul through Athens, Greek Isles, upwards Italy, Rome, and finish off in Barcelona. That is an option. Or if you don't have that much time, you can pick a 7-day or an 11-day or 12-day. So let's take a closer look at Europe. You need your reading glasses. We're visiting over 100 ports of call in Europe this year in 2026. I believe for 2028, we've upped the number to about 135 ports in Europe. Anywhere where you see a little red dot, what this means is we're offering more ashore. So basically, that is longer stays, more overnights. So you'll recognize with some of these cities like Glasgow, you're not going to go to Glasgow and sail away at 4:30 or 5 p.m. I mean, the fun just is getting started as the lights go down. It's such a nightlife fun city. So you want to stay there a little later. And if you're visiting Amsterdam, you want to see Amsterdam in the evening. The fact that we're offering overnights in Lisbon and Seville, so many different Santorini, a later stay, or Mykonos. These are all awesome options for our guests to just really get to know the local connection, like get to experience it up close and immerse themselves. We always bring on the flavors into our menus of the different destinations that you're visiting throughout the world. So you're going to get to really experience Europe up close and personal. So here's a look at an 11-day Mediterranean itinerary, visiting Greek Isles and doing some beautiful Italian ports of call. This is an awesome one. And here we have 12-day British Isles with France and Belfast. So this is very port intensive. From Southampton, you're going to do Portland, Cornwall, Cork. You're getting to do Dublin and Belfast. You're getting to do Glasgow, Northern Scotland, and try and find that Loch Ness Monster if you want. And then Edinburgh also. And you're also getting to do that Paris, Normandy before you return back to Southampton. So, the ease, not having to be on a motor coach and travel these great destinations by a bus. You're doing it on a gorgeous ship. You're unpacking once every day. You're getting off and you're getting to explore and touch it, taste it, feel it, see it, and then head back to the vessel and have a beautiful evening on board our ship. So this is very popular. And like I said, we have some British Isles that do touch on Iceland as well. And then for the ones who want to experience those Norwegian fjords, I mean, glaciers in Alaska are gorgeous, but the Norwegian fjords are equally as beautiful, just different. So it's another option for you, as well as getting to see some of these beautiful capital cities. Mentioned just yesterday that Europe has just opened. So 2028 is now open and available to book just in time for the 3-day sale. And we're offering some unique things this year as an early booking bonus. Not only is there up to $500 in instant savings and up to an additional $500 in onboard credits, but we're offering to the early bookers a free stateroom upgrade. We're offering early access to dining reservations, which is really key. A lot of people want to get those dinner reservations for their specialty restaurants done early. So if you book early, you'll get access to that and reduced deposits, as well as additional savings for our loyalty guests, Captain Circle. So Europe is officially open for sale. But one of the hot destinations with Princess is Japan. We've been going to Japan for a while. We have ships that were built in Asia to be there in Japan and Southeast Asia to offer to their own market. And now we're seeing more of North Americans and people from the rest of the world wanting to embark on such an exotic vacation. So Japan is hot. We have from a 7-day voyage all the way up to 28-day voyages. You can be very intensive. Maybe you just want Japan, or perhaps you want to do more Asia as well. So there's lots of different ones to choose from. Everybody thinks, cherry blossoms in the spring when they think of Japan. And absolutely, we have those. They book out early. So you want to definitely figure out the itinerary specifically that you're interested in and get that deposit down on it in advance to be able to get exactly what you'd like. The summertime is a great time to go too, because there's lots of different summer festivals that you get to take part in and enjoy. So what are the ships? We've got the Diamond Princess right now, currently offering beautiful itineraries, and we'll be joining the Sapphire Princess also to that region of the world. So 2 beautiful ships. Now, here's a sample of a 9-day Japan Explorer sailing round trip from Tokyo. Ideally, you're going to go that far. You want to add pre and post, and that's where our vacation consultants at Expedia can really help you. So many of our travel partners have been going and experiencing this destination. And so many of them have great feedback and advice for you for when you're planning your visit. It can be a little bit overwhelming and intimidating to go so far away. Am I going to like the food? The customs, like it seems so exotic, but when you go with Princess, you know the service you're getting, the food that you're getting. Of course, we're going to have every day, anywhere you eat, we're going to bring in flavors and items on the menu that are going to immerse you in the destination. But if you want to have a shrimp cocktail and a French onion soup and a prime rib dinner or a steak every night, you can still do that in our dining room, and you know exactly the quality that you're going to receive. So there's no surprises. It's a great way to visit such an exotic part of the world. And here we've got 14-day Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam on the Sapphire Princess. So again, these itineraries for Japan and Asia, they book well in advance. And one thing to consider too, booking in advance, is the excursions. There are only so many English speaking guides. And so those English tours tend to fill up fast. So you don't want to go all that way and then not be able to do an excursion where you can understand the guide. So we want to plan it nicely in advance. And 2027, 2028 is available and open for sale. And I just want to touch on Canada, New England. I mentioned it already. We're visiting beautiful destinations. If you've never experienced Atlantic Canada, It's an amazing destination, so many great cities, amazing restaurants, the beauty, the fall foliage. It's a great time of year to go. This is when we do it in September and October. So you can choose from a round trip New York City itinerary, or as I mentioned, a 10-night cruise from Quebec to Boston or from Boston to Quebec, and having Quebec City with that late night, overnight port of call. So you really get to do the nightlife. And then there's a great one towards the end of the season that starts in Quebec and finishes in Fort Lauderdale. So all beautiful options. And I just wanted to point it out. So many Canadians, they've gone really exotic, far destinations, but they haven't been to Halifax. And I think that's a crime. One of the most beautiful parts of Canada is Atlantic Canada. So an easy itinerary to get to from where we live. South America and Antarctica is open and booking 2027 and 2028. And just like Asia and just like Japan, these itineraries do sell out in advance because we don't just redo the over and over the same itinerary. They're all unique and everybody has different interests. So make sure you take a look at those itineraries if they're on your bucket list. So I just want to finish with the princess part of things. Like, what is exclusive to Princess and what's going to make your cruise so unique from any other? First of all, the technology that we've got on board our ships. We've got the Princess Medallion class. So we have the fastest Wi-Fi at sea, thanks to Starlink. We give our guests, when they arrive at the port, you'll pick up your medallion. It's the size of a quarter. You can see that the lady in the picture here is wearing it as a necklace. I got a little bangle bracelet. It pops right in. They're waterproof, sandproof. You can wear them in the shower. And everything is here. So you no longer get a room card. The medallion is your key to everything. Boarding is now very, very simple. As you walk towards your stateroom in the corridor, you'll see the little screen beside your door light up green. It is unlocking your door for you. So you don't need a key, you don't need anything. As you approach, you open your door, it's unlocked just for you because we see you coming. You can order from the app. So before you sail, you're going to download the Princess app and put your phone on airplane mode when you get on board to access the Wi-Fi, and then you're going to be able to order a drink or order something off room service. And not just to your room, though. I mean, you could be sitting on a lounger and taking in the views of Alaska, and you feel like a beverage. You don't have to get up. You don't have to wave your arms in the air. You just, from your app, order that beverage, and the closest server to you is going to bring it to you. He knows you're there because of your medallion. So it's a great, innovative tool that we use on Princess. And then I really want to touch on Premier and Plus. So these are our packages. As I mentioned earlier, a standard cruise fare is basically your stateroom accommodations with entertainment and dining, main dining room, some other casual options. That's what's included in a standard fare. But now, when you're getting your quote for the voyage that you really want to embark on, if you know you're going to want Wi-Fi, you know you're going to have gratuities, you probably want a couple of drinks here and there, then you want to consider Princess Plus. So Princess Plus, we can add into the fare for $65 US per guest per day. And then at the time of booking, you're actually booking it with the package included. So this is going to give you one Wi-Fi device per guest for the first and second guest in the stateroom. It also is going to include your gratuities, which we refer to as crew appreciation. You're also going to have room service fee waived, so there'll be no charges for room service, and you're going to get to have 4 casual dining meals on your cruise, where normally there would be a cover charge. When it comes to beverages, it's unlimited specialty coffees and teas, up to 12 bottles of water a day, and then up to 15 drinks a day that you would find on any of our drink menus in any of our bars or lounges or throughout the ship that are priced at $15 US or less. So that includes fountain drinks, it includes smoothies, energy drinks, mocktails. It also includes cocktails, wine, beer, spirits, liqueurs, as long as it's a $15 or less price point on the drink menu. You can have up to 15 of those a day. So a lot is included in the Princess Plus package. Now, if you want more inclusions, then we offer Princess Premier. So we take basically everything that Plus has. We have the crew appreciation with Premier. We have Wi-Fi, but now we're offering not just one device per person, 4 devices per person. We're also offering a shore excursion credit. So this is per person. It ranges from $100 to $300, and that is dependent on the duration of the cruise. So you're going to get an excursion credit to use when on board. You're also going to have the digital package of photos. So whenever the photographer takes your photograph, you get every single one before you disembark the ship, and you also will get 3 prints to choose as souvenirs. With dining, this is a package you want to consider if you love those specialty restaurants and you're going to dine in more than one on your cruise. So now all of your casual restaurants are included. All of your specialty restaurants are included. So I had dinner in the Crown Grill when I was on the Grand a few weeks ago. The cover charge was $55 per person US. So if you're going to eat in more than 1 or 2 or 3 of our specialty restaurants on your cruise, then you want to consider a Premier. And of course, your room service fee is waived. Now, when you talk about the beverages, yes, all of your specialty coffees, teas, 12 bottles of water a day. But now anything on the drink menus that are $20 US or lower is included. And you have an unlimited quantity of those. So where the Princess Plus, it's $15 price point or less. You can have up to 15 drinks in a day. With Premier, it is unlimited number of drinks at $20 or less. So it just really depends on if you like the finer wines or you like the top shelf brands. So even if you don't drink alcohol, in a day, a specialty coffee, maybe an energy drink, maybe a couple of sodas, or a smoothie, I mean, you're still going to do some spending. And then when you take into account the gratuities, the crew appreciation, a Wi-Fi package, there's so much value in it just from those elements before we even talk about the beverages. So a great option to add a lot of value to your cruise. And lastly, I want to touch on the Sanctuary Collection. This is available on the Star Princess and the Sun Princess, so our Sphere class ships. And we've taken 80 suites, 123 mini suites, as well as some premium deluxe balconies. And we've categorized them as Sanctuary. So if you are booking into one of these Sanctuary categories, that Premier package with everything included is already priced into the price. So you don't have to do a Premier on top of that. The price you're seeing includes everything. But you're now going to have these features that you would normally see or feel on a luxury small ship. So we have a private sanctuary club. It's a pool deck just for our sanctuary guests. It's adult only, where you've got beautiful cushioned loungers. You've got cabanas. You've got live music. You're never going to have to get up really early to get a lounger. There's always space. It's a more intimate space. You're going to have access to the sanctuary restaurant where you're not going to need a reservation for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can just stroll in when you're ready. And again, an elevated dining experience for our sanctuary guests only. And then if you're in a sanctuary suite, you will have access to our lounge. And in here, you're going to have, canopies and hors d'oeuvres before the dinner hour, maybe some live music. It's a beautiful space that's intimate for those sanctuary suite guests. So we're taking that feel of more space, more service, that you would get on a small luxury ship, and we're giving it to you on a ship with more amenities. So perhaps you love that small one-on-one service, but you also like a big casino, or you love production shows. And so this is an option. And there's a space in the theater that is reserved for Sanctuary and our Princess Premier guests. So you don't have to get there too early because you've got reserved seating. So that was just a peek at the Sanctuary Club and the Sanctuary Restaurant. And so you can see just how beautiful space those areas are. But let's talk about the 3-day sale. The reason why you've all tuned in to us today, 22 years in the making. This is our biggest sale yet with our biggest partner. Starts on June 11th, June 12th, finishes on June 13th. This is for new bookings only. So that means you must book during that 3-day period to be able to get the benefits of the 3-day sale. So what sailings are included? Any 6-night cruise or longer that is departing in 2026, 2027, and 2028. So basically everything that we have 6-night or longer will be included in the 3-day sale. So we are asking for a $100 US non-refundable deposit. So you've got a reduced deposit. We also offer Canadian dollar pricing. We're using an exchange rate of 1.36 at the moment. So if you're paying in Canadian dollars, which most of our Canadian guests do, the deposit is 136 Canadian dollars. And what are you going to get for the 3-day sale? So first of all, a coupon booklet that is going to be emailed to you 25 days before sailing, where you're going to have access to up to $900 in onboard savings for things you want to do, experience, and get while you're on your cruise. So there's a lot of value in that. But you're also going to receive an onboard credit. Now, the onboard credits are per person for the first and second guests in the stateroom. So let's give you an example. You're interested in doing that Hockey Hall of Fame cruise. Well, it's a 7-night cruise and you're planning on taking a balcony. There's going to be 2 people. So you're going to earn yourself $400 per couple for booking that balcony stateroom during the 3-day sale. Now, let's say you want Premier and you want to do Barbados round trip on the Crown in January. So you've got maybe a balcony at $200 per person on a 7-day cruise, plus your Premier includes an additional $100 shore excursion. So you've just jumped from $400 onboard credit to $600 onboard credit. If you're considering a 12-night sailing, maybe it's the British Isles, and you're going to do a mini suite, $350 US per person as a benefit for booking during the 3-day sale. So this is a very rich offer, and it doesn't just end there. You are able to combine it with many other perks. So starting with being an Expedia guest, you have access to special Expedia member pricing already, which can be discounted up to 10% in some cases. You also have access to all of those amazing group departures that the Expedia headquarters books well in advance. So for example, we just launched Europe this week for 2028, but they'll go in and they'll block groups on those 2028 sailings. And then their Expedia consultants can sell in anybody into those groups. But as we get closer to the departure, that rate, that group rate that was locked in a year, 2 years in advance, is so much stronger than the current rate in the system, because as you get closer to departure, their rates tend to go up. So you have access to those Expedia rates that are group pricing that usually also offer an additional amenity, and you can combine it with the onboard credits and reduced deposits of the 3-day sale. As an Expedia customer, you also get your One Key rewards. So this is almost like a cash system. For every night that you book through Expedia, for every night on a cruise that you book through Expedia Cruises, you get One Key cash back in return. Just like if you book through Expedia a hotel, you'll get recognized for that if you're using Expedia.com. So you've got access to the One Key, and you're still going to get that credit when you book through 3-day sales. So definite lots of bonuses and benefits for you. If you're a Carnival shareholder, yes, that applies. If you're a current or retired military, you'll get the benefits there. If you purchased a future cruise credit on a cruise you took last year, but you haven't decided what ship or sailing to apply it to, if you apply it during the 3-day sale, you're going to get the benefits of the 3-day sale. So I don't know how to make it any clearer. This is an amazing, really rich offer. And the biggest wow, especially for us all here in Canada, is the Canadian resident rate. So this was introduced not too long ago to kind of offset the current market, the tariffs, the high exchange rates, what's been going on. Princess introduced an up to 20% savings for Canadians just for living in Canada and booking a Princess cruise. We were going to have it end at the end of May, but with 3-day sale being such a huge deal for us with Expedia Cruises as our #1 partner, we are extending it through the weekend of the sale. So you get to take advantage of that pricing on almost 800 voyages in the system. And we've got the current limited time offer, which is up to 40% off already, up to $400 in savings. Third and fourth guests are free on so many voyages, especially in the Caribbean, until the remainder of the year. And it's also combinable with the Canadian resident promotion. So much to digest, so much to think about. I know it's been a lot. I just want to say thank you for your patience, and I wish you all the best on your upcoming Princess cruise. So Donna, if you want to open it up for questions, we can answer them. Be happy to.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. That was amazing. I have a presentation tonight in Sudbury, so I was like, oh, I got to add that slide. Oh, I have to add that slide. So yes, I've been keeping track. There has been no questions. I was so thorough, so that's amazing.
Okay.
I will say that I will share a minute of my experience on the Star in Alaska. I've been lucky enough to be on the Star twice, even though it's a brand new ship. It just happened. We had a conference, and then I had an Alaska trip that I was hosting people. And so I splurged for this last trip. And I have to say, in Alaska, the Star is doing Alaska this year. There's probably a little bit of spots available. If there is, I 100% would say get the either the balcony or the mini suite in the sanctuary. I have a picture in my presentation of my husband and I in Endicott Arm, and people were up at 5 a.m. because that's when we started going through here. And it was so funny, but they had beautiful hot chocolate and big blankets for us to cuddle in. And just the experience to sit out there. The one day leaving Ketchikan, I got a sunburn. I was sitting in the sanctuary overlooking the front of, or the back of the ship. And just like, what a view. And of course, when you're right at the back or right at the front, it doesn't matter what side the whale is on or the dolphins are on, you get to see it all. Right. So it was just really, really great, guys. So definitely. And you've seen a picture in there, and there was a lady standing by a wall, and there was a bell, and that is called the Wall of Champagne, or the Champagne Wall, I believe it is. So you ring the bell, and this little tiny box opens, and this white glove comes out with your glass of champagne.
I know. I wanted that for Mother's Day in my backyard, and I haven't received it yet, but it's like the perfect thing, right? You walk by, ring the bell, and then
Right?
There you
I
have it.
know. I tried to tell my husband, maybe we should have that in my by my pool because that would be really neat. So Roxanne does have a question. Can you please expand on the details of the last slide about the third and fourth guests? So those people do not get the onboard credit, and they also wouldn't like Premier or Plus is for the first two guests. I believe those, Susan, they could add if they were like a third adult, but you'd have to pay.
Right. But I think maybe what you're meaning is I mentioned there at the end that for 2026, for the remainder of all Caribbean sailings, third and fourth guests are free. So if you have children, kids are free basically, and you're going to the Caribbean for the remainder of the year. And also, there are certain itineraries in Europe and Alaska for 2026 that the third and fourth guest are free. So you're not getting the onboard credit for a third or fourth guest, but if you're traveling with, three friends going away, that third guest is free, and that brings down the price for all three of you, right? Or you're bringing the kids, you want to look at those itineraries where the guests are free.
Yes, absolutely. Makes a big difference. Although I don't like to have my kids in my room, makes me a
No.
bad mom, but it's very nice to have separate bathrooms. So,
I know.
and I think that is it. I just want to say thank you so much, Susan. I am going to stop the recording before I